From a business standpoint, how long have you guys been in business?
10 years.
Okay, so you're rolling along, things are moving smooth, you figured it out, COVID shows up, Corona shows up. How do you survive that to make it and still be standing? Because there are a lot of people that say, man, I had some great years during COVID, and others it's like, ooh, people didn't make it. So you're still standing. What you learn from that period that you never did before, you're like, yo, that thing kind of worked.
So 2 things we did. We expanded the business. So the solutions in JC3 Photography Solutions applies to multiple things. We want to be the solutions to your embroidery needs. So we have an embroidery machine now. We can embroider hats, shirts, blankets, aprons, you name it, we can embroider that for you. And then we bought a press. So we started pressing shirts, pressing aprons, pressing what we do, some sweatshirts.
Oh, we got
So that is how we expanded the solutions part of it. And the other thing we did, we started another business. We started Chatters and Chatters Enterprises. It's an operations and logistics company. And the focus that helped me through the pandemic with that is I was helping other small businesses get structured, get organized, get your meetings right,
because
understand
you
the
knew
roles.
you were good at that.
The
and
Army helped prepare me for operational techniques and procedures. And I took some of that and implemented that into Chatters and Chatters. And so I'm the primary on that one. And I work with other businesses to get them streamlined, to help them understand how you should configure your organization, what the roles are for everyone. Because sometimes you have a great idea and you're passionate, but sometimes you need someone who's not passionate about it to look at it with fresh eyes to help you make sure that you're doing it right.
What's the number one thing that people when show up at your doorstep and need help with? The thing that you kind of see on a regular basis.
How to convert your passion into profit.
Oh,
Because, I love my husband, but photography is his passion. And he would do it for free if I let it.
yes. So you're the person who has to be on him because he'll give his talents away because he's so in love with his talent.
Correct.
And you're saying
Your talent can give you profit. And so what I've had people come to me about is, I don't know how to market what I'm doing. I don't know how to put a price tag on what I'm doing. And so I help them with the market research and the analysis to figure out, this is the going rate for our area. And I know that number might scare you because you want to do it for the love, but you need to come out of this with something, especially married people who are trying to do a business. Your spouse is looking for you to bring something into the house all this time to give out.
and this isn't a hobby. This ain't a hobby.
Correct.
No, this is a business venture. What did you do in the Army?
I was a logistics officer.
You did the logistics thing down.
Yes, I do.
What did your husband do?
He was a logistics NCO. Maintenance. He was maintenance.
So you
NCO.
guys understood that world of order and discipline
Mhm.
and having things work in a pattern, which
Right.
a lot of people do not.
Right,
A lot of people do not have that and understand that. So they're just shooting from the hip on a regular basis.
right. And so I'm helping them structure it. I need you to put it down on paper. Because as soon as you put it down on paper, it becomes real.
How hard is that when you have people to put it down on paper? I know you ain't got to say, I tell you what time it is. People look up at me like, ooh, Lord. It looked a lot better.
Yeah, it did. It always sounds better in your head. And then when someone asks you questions that get you to a precise point that you can start moving forward with, then it's like, I hated this process. But at the end of it, you're like, I'm glad we're here.
What's the engagement like for you on that business? How long do you work with people? Like, what's that look like?
So you can hire me for a monthly contract or a project contract. So whatever the project is you're working on. So let's say you need to develop your standard operating procedures. You remember SOPs.
SOPs, yeah.
So every small business should have how you operate. And so if you need me to help you work on that, that's a project. There's a flat fee for that. Or if you need step-by-step work. So I'm working with a young lady. She's starting a African hair braiding business and she wants help with her website. So I'm not a website developer, but I can help you structure it so that at least it presents the way you want it to present.
Okay.
So that's a as needed basis. So she hired me every time she needs something. That's an hour session. We pay by the hour.
And that's an option that you guys have.
Correct.
What are the payment options for you, the way people work?
So if you're doing JC3, we take every credit card imaginable. We have an online pay system and the same thing for Chatter to Chatter. So we do invoicing. I can break you up monthly for your total bill. Because like I said, we're not trying to hit people over the head. So if it's a 12-month project, I can break your bill up to 12 months.
Okay.
So that you can make payments toward your bill. You won't get your final product, obviously, until your payments are all completed, but we've never had an issue
with that. People understand the value. All right, let's touch on the husband and wife running a business thing? How do you guys, there you go with the laugh.
Well, I mean, when it's different if I could, like, if he could fire me, he probably would want to fire me.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Not sometimes be like, yo, on a daily basis. Because I know, oh, man, like I said, when you say to me, Mike, put it down on paper, it was excellent right here. I had everything worked out. And then I put it on paper. You said, what about that?
So we try to balance each other because he's more creative and visionary than I am in that regard. And so I'm more like, hey, honey, that was a 3-hour contract. Don't stay there more than 3 hours. I'm gonna call you at the 3-hour mark. So you come home. You must leave the venue. So we're balancing each other. I'm learning from him. He's learning from me. But we do make up, and we got to turn it off. Like, hey, this is not business anymore. We're off of work. We're off the clock. Can I have my husband back? Because he's a taskmaster. He's an NTO, a retired senior NTO. Of course, he's like,
Chop, chop, we gotta get stuff done. People used to say about me and my wife, you guys run a military house, and we're like, we don't. Yeah, we do. Because there's something about order. People fight order. They think kids and people want order. Everything is not the wild, wild west.
Right, you need a routine. And
Yeah.
our oldest, my bonus child, because Jay had a child before we got together, he's in the Army now, 26 years old at Fort Bragg. And what made him successful is he needed a routine. College wasn't enough of a routine for him. So then he stepped away from that. So, you know what, I'm going to try this Army thing and see if that is what the structure I need in my life. And he is specialist promotable now. And we are so proud of him.